wife and I give because we were brought up with parents and teachers who sacrificed a lot for us. My dad was a pastor in the Midwest, and I saw how he and my mom had very little, but still gave generously to the church and to other causes. And this made a big impression on me. They didn't fear for going without because they had given too much. They had faith that God would give them what our family needed. Misa and my wife went to a small Jesuit high school in the Pacific island of Truk, and they instilled in her a sense of living a purposeful, meaningful life centered on the dignity of God's creation. So self-giving became an important part of that purposeful life.
I love writing out the weekly checks to the church. I just think of all the many blessings that we've been given and how much less fortunate so many areas of the world are, particularly in our community. And I like to, I get a really good feeling thinking that maybe this actually does some good. And so that's a big part of my stewardship. I think of how my parents kind of really like that also. And I can remember they sort of did it once a year. It was sort of waiting to see how much income they had at the end of the year, and then they would decide how much they were going. And I've decided, wow, I'm not going to wait a year. I'm going to do this weekly. So I love writing out that check every week. And
there was a stewardship announcement made several years ago, because the thing about giving time, talents, and treasures that's hardest for me is giving treasures. I'm a Scandinavian Lutheran, and I don't like talking about money, and I don't like anybody else talking about money, and I don't have a lot of money to talk about. But this speaker urged us to, number one, think about how we are spending our money. He said, wouldn't it be great if everybody could just give up one latte a week? Okay, that's between $4 and $5, and challenged us to do that. I think it was during Lent, to see if we could do that. And I thought, well, yeah, I could do that. And so that encouraged me to take little steps, increase my giving, challenge myself maybe a little more every year. And it's been good. I haven't, you don't notice the difference, and yet it makes a huge difference in what the church can do with that money.
When I was a child, the church that I was in, they, when you accepted Christ into your heart, you automatically started doing service for the Lord. And that meant that you tithed, even though your allowance was small. The church accepted everything.
One of my daughters and her husband were a part of a process in their church similar to this. They gave a video talking about stewardship, and their pastor had urged them to tithe. And they went home thinking, oh my gosh, we can't do that. We've got 2 kids, we just bought a house, but they did. And they were so overwhelmed at the joy it brought them to do that. And so I'm working towards that.
As I said, my dad was a pastor, and so from a young age, I remember hearing 1 John 4:19, we love him, God, because he first loved us. As I got older, I saw how that could be extended to we give back to him because he first gave everything to us. Also, my faith informs me that we're on borrowed time, so to speak. Yes, I'm very thankful that I have a nice house and nice clothes and other things, but I hold on to them too much, and I know I do, too tightly. But really, I know that we're all made and called to a higher purpose. And the first step in loving God and loving our neighbor is giving as he gave.